All right, you guys, welcome to a new Nashville Masterclass. I am your host, James Tanya May. I'm having to do this all over again. I don't know why. I just spoke for 8 minutes and everything just shut off and nothing was saved. So, again, I don't care if you like and subscribe. I kind of care. All right, I care a little. But today we're going to talk about children that have to live with an addict, what they go through. No one hardly ever asks these children how they feel. So many people I've known through my life who are addicted refuse to give their children up because they feel that that's their child and it's best for them to stay with a biological parents, which is crap. They also feel embarrassed. I can completely sympathize with that. In Los Angeles, when I got my girlfriend pregnant, we had a lot of money, and through actions that I talked about before, we lost it all, and we had nothing, and she was still doing heroin. No matter how much I begged her, I got on the methadone clinic. So when our child was born, he was born addicted. So the courts gave full custody to me, and his mom had none. She was still in active addiction and schizophrenic. So she didn't even have visitation rights. So it was her idea for me to keep the child while I had nothing, and keep him so she could come see him whenever she wanted. I was not going to put this child through that. I knew a family that I could give them up through adoption, and as soon as I got myself together, I could be in his life, which is exactly what I did. And this weekend, I did a soft white underbelly interview, or last week, and well, according to Mark, it should be out in a few days. But I was there in LA, so I stayed with my son and one of his adopted brothers, David. Well, he really went through it. His dad pulled him out of his foster home, just took him away one day, and took him to Philadelphia with him while he was still in active addiction, and put that young man through hell. And I talked to him about doing an interview with him, and he was very excited about it because he wants people to know what these children go through, what he went through. So I'll let David tell you in his own words. David has been questioned 3 times, and for some reason, my phone keeps going out. So instead of pushing the poor kid, we'll just say that he had a hard time growing up. Just say one more time it was like growing up with your dad, and we'll kind of gloss over the rest.
Growing up with my dad was mostly just abuse. He hit a lot, threw a lot of stuff, threw me a lot. I do remember one thing though, like very vivid, is that he threw me across the room one time and just left me there. And then there's another time where he went to the bathroom and just never came out. And then I went to the neighbor's house and he got real mad at me, but I don't remember anything past that.
Were you angry as a kid, or did you even really notice?
I didn't really do anything. I didn't really act out too much. Just stay quiet. I was a quiet kid when I was younger.
And like you said, you wouldn't even think of trying to have a relationship in the future.
No, it's because it's like the way that he put me through this. It's like I don't think I'll ever see him the same.
I mean, do you think in your ordinary day, the way you go through things, do you think that sometimes the way you grew up with him, do you think it sometimes affects your day-to-day choices or the way you think about certain things?
It's a possibility. I mean, I do think about a lot of things every day, but it's not majority of what like my decision making is. I mean, some of it is like, let's say if I want to do something stupid and then like if I don't, and then if I do something stupid, I feel like it's like me going from not knowing what it means or what to do, and him influencing me into doing those things because of what he did to me when I was younger.
I understand a lot of my trauma rules. What about nightmares? I have a lot of nightmares from trauma.
I do wake up at night, but I don't really think about him. I never really had nightmares of him. I just, every now and then I do have a fear of going back with him, but it's not as common as I previously thought. It happens every now and then, but that's only when I'm like scared or like really mad or something. And then when I get like scared and mad, it gets harder to breathe and stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it happens to me too.
Yeah.
And a lot of the bad crap happened in Philly. I know that's probably put a pall over the city of Philadelphia forever for you.
I never want to go back there. I remember I lived in a tent, and it's not good out there.
Did you live in Kensington, that drug area of Philadelphia where everybody lives homeless?
I think so. I don't really remember, but it was just this big tent complex.
Yeah, it sounds like Kensington.
Probably.
Wow. So, you got put in the foster system?
Yes. After when I went with someone and the police showed up, they took me, and all I see is my dad running after the police car. So it was fun. I didn't know what he was doing right then. I was like, "That's my dad," to the police, and they just didn't listen. But 2 police officers did talk to him, and I never got to go back with him. That's the last time I saw him. Which is, I guess it was either the best thing or the worst thing that happened.
Depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Does it make it hard to look up to adult male figures as father figures or someone you can trust?
Ever since then I had very big trust issues. I don't really trust a lot of people, but like I've been easing up on that a lot ever since I was like 9, 10, and I've just been trusting more people. So yeah.
It's a lot to deal with, and I think people that are in the midst of drug addiction, they really want to hold on to their kids, but they don't want to stop the drug use. They feel like that kid is mine, or they feel embarrassed. Would you say it would probably be better for someone who's addicted to drugs, who's not going to stop, to let their child...
It'd be easier to let their child go with another family member before putting them into the system?
Yeah.
To see how it goes, and if the family member doesn't work out, then you could go on to another one, but if the third one doesn't work out, then definitely send them back into the foster system or to the foster system.
Alright, David, you're 14 now.
Yeah. This happened 12 years ago, 13 years ago, maybe around there. So
you're a handful. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But it's okay, man. Things will get better, and thank you for sitting down with me.
For sure.
And now everybody will know you. You'll be famous.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, buddy.
Alright.
So as you can see, this did a lot to the child. This caused a lot of trauma, and people don't want to go with their kids, and I understand why, but you are being completely selfish. Even if you don't hit your kids, think of the life they could go through. So many of these families, I know the children are always dirty. They live in squalor. And they'll lie about it. They'll clean up their house that one time someone comes over, but you know these kids are dirty. They don't eat as much as they should. They don't eat anything nutritious, and you're spending all your money on drugs. And it's not surprising that while the kid's with you, they say they want to stay with you, that's because they don't know any better. As soon as they get out of that situation, they do. And let me tell you, if you keep them, they will grow up to be adults, and they will realize what you put them through, what you denied them by not letting them have a normal life. And they will not be happy with it. They are going to hold a grudge. And even if they forgive you, they're not going to want you to be in their life. And even if you get yourself together eventually, they're still going to hold that over your head. My son thought it was a great idea what I did, and he's very glad I did it. Now, of all the stupid things I ever decided, well, that was quite a whistle on that one. Of all the stupid things I've ever thought and all the dumb decisions I've ever made, that was the best clear-headed decision I ever made, and I never regret it. And it makes it so much easier to become part of it, because he's still very young. I didn't wait till he's a teenager and adult. He's still very young, and he didn't have this horrible, hard life. And he always knew who I was. He knew my parents always sent presents. When I was able to start affording to, I started being able to buy him presents, and now I can go out there and spend time with him, which is what I do. But you need to think twice, thrice, 4 times, 5. You need to really think about what you're putting your child through. And I think the best thing is to give them to a relative or a friend who you know when you get yourself together, you can go back and be part of their life. But as long as you're still using, everybody thinks that because you're their biological parents, they should stay with you. That's not the case. It's where they get the best life. It's not about you anymore. It's about them and their needs. I'm going to do a couple more interviews when I can of my son's other brothers and my son. I hope you really listen to what David said and realize what these children are going through and the trauma that is caused by keeping them in an environment that is not conducive to their growth and their best interests. I hope you guys have a good day. We'll meet again soon, talk about other topics, and as a group, as a whole, as survivors of trauma, addiction, homelessness, and hopelessness, we'll figure this thing out. Or we won't, and I'll just blather on forever. Either way, see you soon.